Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. The 2022 Passenger poet is David Bergman. David said, "Writing poetry is no less difficult now that I am in my 70s than it was when I was in high school. But it is more exciting, since I am freer from fear and outside expectations. Now I write for the pleasure that poetry gives me." Here's his poem, Finding You Later, on the publication of I'll Miss You Later, poems of James W. Gaynor. Written under the pressure of terror and the urgency of death's elusive truth, these poems, packed away for 40 years inside a spiral notebook you never thought would see the light, are glowing in my hands, evidence of the grace that terror gives our hastiest expression, and a music to which even the dead rise up and sing. Jim, I knew you before and after AIDS, not during, thankfully not during, for then we were too full of fear and grief to give each other anything more than silence. Thank you for keeping these words safe until I could see you as you now were then. Finding You Later, 2022 Passenger poet David Bergman. David said, "I want to write as if in a world in which the words were free of everything but the need to be honest, simple, and beautiful." Here's his poem, Waiting Entrance. I wake in the middle of the night to the front door pounding. I run downstairs as fast as I can, which these days is not so fast. Still, I don't even bother to cover myself with a robe, for who knows, it could be my neighbor whose child's run off with a local hoodlum. Or maybe it's the cranky man across the street who, waking up to pee, finds on the kitchen floor the outstretched body of his wife or grandson. Or maybe it's a stranger trying to escape a knife-wielding madman in hot pursuit. It's all possible. I've watched the local news, I've read the bulletins popping up on my smartphone. But when I finally open the door, there's no one there. Nothing but a warm breeze pushing against my jockey shorts. Yet I'm far too jumpy to go back to bed. Say goodbye to sleep, David. You're stuck doing vigil now. Something has wanted you, and you have been slow to give it welcome. God of hosts, where do the unattended go? The things still waiting to be greeted and helped. Waiting Entrance. David Bergman said, "As a gay man who has fathered no children, I sometimes wonder about the children I didn't have, those possibilities I turned away from. What would those children be like?" Here's his poem, Kindertotenlieder. We are the unfathered children of your brain. Do not fear us. We are not angry that you never made us flesh. It is enough that we have been on your mind. Do not cry, Papa, for we are not sad. Your house is filled with your family. Your dogs, no longer alive, protect us still from danger. We have 18 acres to roam free and enough food to keep us always hungry. More music than we can ever hear, from the crickets singing to the storms at night. Unlike you, we do not grow tired or older. The ones in diapers stay in diapers. Those old enough to learn by heart the multiplication tables ready themselves for the tests to come. And those like you, awkward, heavy, dim, who watch the dark for signs portentous and incomprehensible, laugh as you rush out beneath the streetlight. For you will never leave us. You love us too much. And if you left, we would follow behind, a motley crew, some who can only crawl, some who just have learned to ride their bikes, others so barely formed that big girls must carry them, like the mothers they never had. Kindertotenlieder, David Bergman. He said he'd been reading about orphans in the Syrian civil war, and how the older children try to be parents to their younger siblings. He said he associates the title Kindertotenlieder with the Holocaust. One more poem by 2022 Passenger poet David Bergman, The Last Sleep. Of sleep's many episodes, the last one is the best, the one that brings refreshment, if refreshment comes at all. It does not pull me down into the dark depths of dreams where eyeless fish make their hobbled way, where I painfully break into wakefulness and effort. Unlike sleep's early episodes, the last one does not insist that I relive the final exam for the class I never attended, or defend myself against the enemy who's found my hiding place. No, the last sleep is the best sleep, because it wraps me in dreams through whose thin walls I hear the unmelodious rattle of the day, and feel like a leaf, the dawn's swift occupation of the sky. The Last Sleep, David Bergman. To buy the 2022 Poetry Contest issue that features David Bergman's work, or to subscribe to or learn more about Passager and its commitment to writers over 50, go to passagerbooks.com. You can download Burning Bright from Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and various other podcast apps. For Kendra, Mary, Christine, Roseanne, and the rest of the Passager staff, I'm John Shore.